What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to a frustrated, angry and sad player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda. As I'm sure you're aware, the Reds battled from 2-0 down to get to 2-2, only to throw it all away at the end, again with a long throw-in, undoing us, and the heart and fight just isn't there. We're going to go through the referee, the players, the substitutes and the manager, giving them all a score out of 10. As always, if you'd like to play along in the future, make sure you're signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. You can do so with the QR code in the bottom corner or the link in the description of this video. Remember, you're going to see 2 scores on every player card. The upper right hand corner is the average Anfield Agenda viewer score and the large square in the centre is mine. We've a lot to get through, so I'm going to get straight into it and start off with the referee. I actually don't think he did too much right or wrong either way. I mean, I know we always want the scapegoat in these situations, but the scapegoat was standing on the sideline with no hair, and it wasn't me for a change. So I don't really want to point fingers at the referee. I don't think he got too many things all that wrong, in all honesty. So for me, got to give the ref a 5.5. Audience have gone 3.5, but I feel that's probably more out of frustration than anything else. Unless I've forgotten a really big incident, in which case, feel free to let me know. Alisson, I still haven't seen back whether he clawed that ball back into play after it hit the post at the end of the game, which resulted in it going to the Bournemouth player to score. But all in all, I've said this now for a few weeks, he doesn't seem the same guy. He doesn't seem as zoned in, as confident. And if he did ignore the manager's instructions, which himself and a few others apparently did, of not putting the ball out of play when we were down to 10 before the second goal, that just speaks volumes again. So for me, for Ali today, I'm giving him a score of 4.5. And the audience have gone a little bit lower with a score of 4.2. Next up, Jeremy Frimpong. Again, I think he did okay today. You know, manager only has one right back, and those decisions are going to be made occasionally where he wants to look to save legs and whatever. But I thought he did okay today, and certainly don't put the fault of this performance on his shoulders. So for me, I'm going to give him a 5.5, and the audience have gone for a 5.2. Next up, Joe Gomez, who, as I'm sure you're aware, is out now with an injury, and we don't know how long for, but we do know it came after the incident where we conceded, and frustration is boiling right now. My blood is boiling, because you could see it coming a mile off that there was going to be another injury, and now it's just a matter of how bad it gets for us at centre-back. And we've watched Mark A swan off the Man City and apparently didn't want to pay for him. So this is what happens when you put yourself in these positions. And to Joe, we wish him a speedy recovery, but we'll give him an average of 5 there for his time on the pitch, and the audience have gone for a 4.4. We will, of course, give you an update when we know a little bit more about the incident with Joe Gomez. Virgil, he just needs to stop. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of listening to his waffle. I'm sick to listening to his empty words, because that's all they're feeling at the minute. Talking about the wind again. Talking about stupid things. You lazily threw your leg at the ball. If you wanted to get a hard contact on it, you would have put more force in it, and it would have went for a throw in or a corner. But either way, it wouldn't have went to Alex Scott, who then pulled it back to Evan Nielsen. The manager covers for this lad, and it all just starts from the captain. He is too lackadaisical right now. His aura defending days are over, and he isn't good enough, and he is just winding me up with his excuses. I don't want to hear about team meetings, about doing the right things, about playing through it, about the fans. I want to see it on the pitch. I want to see aggression and leadership, and it isn't there at the minute. So for Virgil, I'm giving a 4, and the audience have gone even lower with a 3.1. On the left side, Milos Kerkez, who was taken off to protect his legs after having all the minutes he played against Marseille. And here's the genius in all of this. What are we doing? We're getting rid of Andy Robertson for 3 million quid to Spurs to bring back a player that can't get a game at Roma as the backup for the rest of the season. But I'm supposed to believe we're not writing off the season and we're an ambitious club. I don't get it. So taking him off, I understand in its own entity. But you've got to sometimes look at the situation and how the game is. And do we need him on there? Yes. Is it worth risking it? Yes. Did we do it? No. So for him, I'm going to give a 4.5, and the audience have gone for a 4. Ryan Gravenberch, again, too soft in midfield, too easy to play through. We need an out-and-out DM. I've been saying it for ages. You've been saying it for ages. We appreciate Ryan, but he ain't a defensive midfielder, and he ain't providing the defensive shield and cover that we need. So for Ryan today, I give him a 4.5. And the audience feel the same with a score there for Ryan of 4.5. Maka, another bang average, not good enough performance from a player who unfortunately this season has put in more of them than I care to remember. Just not good enough. Just again, no bite, no fight, nothing. Just empty, too easy to play through. Just not good at either end of the pitch. I can't get away from it. He just hasn't been good enough this season. So for him, I give him a 4. And the audience have gone a little bit higher with a score of 4.1 for Alexis McAllister. Other way, I know I'm going through these and you can see how seething I am. I'm trying my best not to say anything I can't take back. But right now, I really, really feel like I need to unload. So I'm going to record a news video later on tonight when everything else has calmed down and I've done all my other bits and pieces and I've had a chance to compose myself. So it will be a late one, but if you're interested in it, keep an eye out around midnight because that's when it should drop. So, Dominic Szoboszlai, another beautiful strike for the goal. Another hard-working performance where he covered a lot of ground and tried to make a lot of things happen. He's one of the few shining lights this season. And again, wow on the strike. Fantastic. Scored a free kick midweek. This time a bit of inventiveness. Mo rolls it back to give him a better angle and he curls it in. And that should have been the thing that had us fighting back. That should have been it. That should have been when we went on to win the game. That's what Liverpool of old would have done. But this Liverpool still find a way to sabotage the game and throw away points. So for Dom, I give a 6.5. And the audience have gone for a 6.8. Should he be the new vice-captain if Andy Robertson departs? Absolutely, without a doubt. Next up, Florian Wirtz. Again, a player who I love and a player who, again, is going to be brilliant. But in the last couple of games in particular, I felt his touch and his passes just hasn't been there. Today, too sloppy. Too many passes overhit. Too many heavy touches. Just did not get into the game at all in a game that he should have been licking his lips at, in all honesty. The space was there. The opportunities were there. He just wasn't up to the task today on a cold and blustery day in Bournemouth. So for me, today he gets a 4.5. The audience got a little bit higher with a score for Florian Wirtz of 5.3. Gakpo. I hope Bayern Munich come in the summer with an offer of €75 million or £65 million. And I hope we bite their hand off if they do. I don't know what else to say. Too one-dimensional, too predictable, too uninspiring, just not getting it done. You know what I'm going to say. You've heard me say it many times. You feel the same way. Nice guy and all that, but just not good enough, not dynamic enough. And today, no impact. So he gets a 4 from me, and he gets a 3 from the Anfield Agenda viewers. Mohamed Salah. I find it curious that he's straight back into the team, has had 2 performances where he's been wasteful. Is it almost like this is now Arne fearful that he hasn't got enough power in his job, that he's second-guessing himself and playing Mo to try to not have another distraction? Because it wasn't good enough again for Mo, as it hasn't been for quite a while now this season. So for Mo today, a 4 from me, because I really feel like he was nowhere near it, and a 3.3 from the Anfield Agenda audience. But let us know your thoughts on the whole situation. Is he playing because we've no options? Is the manager fearful? Or is it just the right thing to be playing him? Next up, Wataru Endo, who again at least got some minutes, albeit not in the position that we signed him for, but at least he got some minutes and covering for Joe Gomez. Not really culpable for any of the goals in my opinion. They all seem to come down Virgil's side of the pitch. So I don't really know what to say about Endo today. He tried. So a 5 and a 4.6 from the audience. Again, I don't feel like he was in any way part of a problem today. A player who's had very little minutes anyway. Next up, Andy Robertson, who, if we do say goodbye to, we'll go with all of our love, best wishes, and thank you for an incredible time at the football club. I'll never understand this decision midway through a season that we would sell him to Spurs. From his own perspective and his family's, I understand that and he's earned the right to make that decision. I just wish the club had have made it happen in the summer coming up and not now. But look, again, Robbo today when he came on, I didn't think he was great, but he wasn't on his own. So today I'm giving him a 4.5. And the audience have gone a bit higher there with a score for Robbo of 5. Next up, Hugo Ekitike. The only fit striker who the manager didn't start to save his legs. Normally you'd understand that thinking. And I had to say before the game, I didn't agree with it, but I could understand it. You've only got one fit striker. But when you're playing for your job, you know, because putting him on the bench makes me feel like Arne doesn't think his job's under fire. Because if you do think you're under pressure, you play him. And yeah, if you pick up an injury, you have to deal with that. But can we say now we can only play players for 2/3 or 3/4 of games on the just in case? Does that not mean clearly that we don't have enough depth? You can't have it every which way. So for Hugo today, coming off the bench, he gave a bit of effort. Should have been probably in from the start, as it's a game we needed to win. But again, I understand it from a long-term strategic decision. But in the here and now, is it worth rolling the dice? I'd give him a score of 5, and the audience feel the same. Curtis Jones, another player linked with Spurs. And I wonder, is this just it's time for a contract extension negotiation tactic? Not sure. When he came on today, yeah, I'll try to get forward, try to make things happen, but ultimately was part of the team that collapsed again at the end of the game, and that just isn't good enough. So 5 for him for his little cameo, and it's a 4.5 from the audience. Rio Engamoa, he was too honest at one point. He would have got a penalty if he went to ground. And the irony in football is, as much as people bemoan people diving and falling, if you don't get anything. Did win the free kick, cutting inside, tried to take on the players that led to Dominic Soboslai's goal, and provided more impetus and attacking threat in the few minutes he was on the pitch, or the time he was on the pitch, than most of the others for the entirety of their time on it. So surely now, when we are in dire need, he's got to start getting more minutes. Today, though, I'm going to give Rio a 5.5. As I said, still a little bit lightweight, still a little bit to learn, but of course he should be. He's only 17, but you could see already that he was making players think, winning his free kick, being direct, running at people. Like I said, doesn't always have to lead to a goal, could lead to a free kick, a corner, a penalty, anything. But at least he takes players on, and I'm here for that. It's a 5.6 from the audience. And lastly, Arne. Look, I'll go straight to the score and I'll go backwards. So the question mark is because I still don't know how he's in a job. And the audience have gone for a 1.3. If you want a number score, 3.5. I have some sympathy for the situation he's found himself in with injuries. But I've got no sympathy from the fact that he doesn't speak out about it, or he doesn't deal with the reality of what we're seeing. He's talking about the wind again as an excuse. If it's not the low block, it's now the wind. That was a team that played the way you want teams to play against us, Arne. That was a team that came out and played, that created space on the pitch, that we should have been able to pick apart. But your team once again wilted under your leadership, or should I say lack of. You deserve to be fired. You should be fired. I hope that you're fired. So that's my score. P45 time. And if you don't know what that is, it's the form you're given when you're fired in the UK and Ireland. Or at least it used to be back in the day. But right now, I don't know how he's still in a job. And I don't know how an ambitious club could keep him in a job. So that is the Anfield Agenda player ratings video for now, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye out for that video dropping late tonight. It will be about 11 or midnight, and I will be having my say. I'm off to record the Anfield Agenda podcast with Connor and Chris. The episode will be live in its entirety on Spotify tomorrow, and there'll be clips coming out here on the YouTube channel. Thank you to you all for your support. Do drop a like if you've enjoyed this video. I hope you continue to support the channel. We will figure this out. We will get through it together. And thank you once again.